Hello everyone, welcome back to Chris's Granite Paradise. Today here in the backyard, I have recently done a couple of videos on the big Thompson Canyon and the river, and now I have rocks that need to go somewhere. My wife has requested that this wall never become a permanent display of rocks. So in honor of her request, and just because she's right, especially since I have quite a bit of other big Thompson rocks. Let's see if I can get back there. The sunflowers are still in full glory, so can't get to all of them, but there's one right here. See, here's a nice piece of mica schist from the big Thompson River. And there's probably 20 of them on that sculpture. And then of course I have the big ones from years ago, such as this tourmaline in mica schist. That's a big one. There are more over here. Here's the polished mica schist river cobble, the Pegmatite river cobble, and there's a few more, but I want to round these all up. Got the graphic granite, what could be tourmaline in some kind of very hard rock, never been identified. A few more down there. Anyway, I want to gather all the big Thompson rocks, and they're probably gonna go, see, I don't think I could get to them yet unless I cut my sunflowers. The only place I have that can hold big pieces and with lots of room is on these two levels of this sculpture up here on top of those rounds. Could put some up high, but that's way too high. It really takes some shenanigans to get up there, so they're probably gonna go here. Anyway, join me today, or whenever I get around to doing it, as we build this display together. I want to share the process with you. I've shared a few sculpture building projects with you, but never the creation of a display. For example, this display is of the Yellowstone River. So I'm going to show you guys from scratch how we go about putting together something that looks good, and that way they're all together. Thanks for coming along. Well, to start out with, I'm going to begin gathering all of my material. The easiest way to do it is I will get it from the various locations and spread it out here, because I'll probably be putting the ladder kind of where the sunflowers are, and also on the other side between the sculpture and the house, and really anywhere I can get in there. It's going to be kind of tight. So we'll start with that. I'll do a time lapse, moving the rocks from these last two trips over. So I was filming toward the light, and it looked like the camera had a little hard time keeping the light good, but one rock left here. This is a Fort Collins rock that happened to be in the pile out front. Anyway, it's the same process as with the sculptures. You might remember me explaining with the sculptures that every piece is moved about 15 times. Same with rocks. So I can't put anything here because I'll probably stand the ladder up there at some point. Again, my goal, if I could reach up there, is to put the rocks at that upper level. But I want to have them all close to me. So here's the rocks from our recent 2 trips up to the canyon. And then this should leave me enough space to bring everything else over. And when I have it all here, then we'll start the process. And we're gonna look for these mica schists. I know I have quite a few of them. Here's one. Oh, that's got a nice ripple to it. These I collected some years ago. We'll set them here. Let's see how many we can come up with. This is all part of the process. You know, I have displays up high, and I have certain displays on sculptures that are from distinct locations, such as I mentioned earlier, the Yellowstone River. I've got the big display from Oregon. I've got, anyway, quite a few. Obviously, the Cache la Poudre River. Anyway, finally, now we're going to be making the display for the big Thompson. And as I get enough of rocks from an area, I gather them up and I end up with fewer random rocks. So this sculpture is still considered random. It's got stuff on both sides. There's stuff from everywhere. And up there, everything up there is from Cook City, Montana. Everything on this sculpture is from the quarry site. Maybe you've been watching that series of videos. And we're finally making a nice, worthy display of the big Thompson Canyon. I haven't done it yet. I'm very honored to be able to do it. I finally have enough rocks. Boy, this is a mess back here, though. Gotta watch out for wasps. Here's another nice mica schist. It's cloudy right now, so they're not too glorious, but we will find them. And then I have other random rocks that I'll fill in these gaps with. Let's see what we got. I'm probably gonna miss some. Here's another one. Ooh, covered with dirt. Beautiful mica schist, though. Yell at me, guys, if you see one that I'm missing. There's another one. I don't want to get attacked by wasps. Nope, that is not mica schist. That is Blue G from California. The sculpture that I have the California stuff on isn't big enough, so I still have a lot of Blue G and rocks from there mixed in here. And then the trick is to get them back where they were. Good luck, right? This is all part of the process, guys. I like to share it all. Okay, that's another Blue G. There's a nice mica schist right there. Beautiful. And schorl. See, the schorl is from that canyon too. And I've got a lot of this schorl. I forgot about that. I have a bunch of this. But these are the nice tourmaline crystals in the granite pegmatites. Yep, I hadn't thought about the schorl. I know there's a giant piece of schorl up on top here. I'll have to get the ladder and get him. Here's mica schist. These are really dirty. See, when it's cloudy or when I'm not in the sun, they don't look like anything. They just look like gray, ugly rocks. So let's go over there while the sun is out, so you know I'm not pulling your leg. Oops, I am trapped. I can't get out of here. I think I can go this way. We'll catch the last rays of the sun. Yeah, see, these are nice mica schists. They're very dirty. They've been on that sculpture probably for 15 years. But anyway, that's what we're rounding up. I will continue this. I won't show you all of it. I just wanted to give you enough to give you an idea. Let's go see what's up top here. I remember there being being some nice schorl up here, the tourmaline. This is definitely one of them. Oh, that might be another piece over there. Some cool rocks up here I haven't seen in a while. But I think I'll definitely nab this one and put it over in the display with the rocks from the canyon so that they're all together. And I think I have a replacement rock that can go here. I'm back here in another obscure corner of the sculpture garden, looking for rocks from the big Thompson River and its canyon to add to our new display. Here's a really nice granite pegmatite loaded with the schorl or black tourmaline. Then in here was this big one I pulled out. Beautiful feldspar crystal. Can't really see it in this light, but you can maybe catch the reflections there. And then more black tourmaline. Beautiful specimens of tourmaline. So we'll bring these over to the pile. And just like on the other sculpture, this leaves some holes, but that's no problem. I have plenty of overflow rocks that are piled up here and there that need a home. So they'll move in and take over. This is another what I call random display. It has rocks from literally everywhere, from Brazil to right next door. And at first glance, I don't see any big Thompson Canyon rocks, but I suppose if I run low for my display, I'll come and pick through here, because there very well could be some. But I wanted to show you what I've rounded up so far. So last night is when we were on the sculpture over there, and I did manage to round up. I figured I'd spare you the filming of it because it really took a long time. It was dark when I got done, because I pulled these rocks out and then found other rocks to fill the gaps, you know, because I didn't want to leave holes in my display over there. And I have plenty of rocks around that don't have a home yet. So got a boatload more of mica schist. Again, these were probably collected 20 years ago or so. I remember the kids were little. But a few interesting pieces I want to point out. That's not one of them. So here's one with a nice ripple. Gives me plenty to play with my display, because these look like a lot of rocks piled up here, but when you put them together as a display, they get eaten up really fast. They don't cover much space, let's put it that way. I wanted to point this one out because remember we looked at the copper colored mica schist from the canyon, and this is a beautiful silver with the copper and with black. It's got 3 colors of mica in this river cobble, and I'm not sure if that's because of inclusions or they are 3 different types of mica. Just a unique piece. And this one has a little bit of those eyes we were talking about. You can see in there. And the rest of these are just pretty rocks to give us to play with. So I rounded those up. And then a lot of schorl, a lot of the beautiful pegmatites with the black tourmaline. Hunter and Brandy, you were asking about the tourmaline. If you're watching this, if you guys do make it over here, I will release one of these to you. One of these, well, I probably shouldn't promise anything, but I'm sure I can spare one. I know you were really had your heart set on finding some tourmaline. I'll leave one of these pieces out, available to you, because I don't think you found any that day. Here's just a big chunk of feldspar. Pegmatite. Look at that reflection. Again, those microcline crystals can be just huge. Anyway, so the pile is growing. I still haven't brought over the large river cobbles that I showed you guys, but I really don't have any room to pile them up. So I'm going to get started on the display, and then I'll bring them over. It's my tall ladder, and got it on the wall there. I'll climb up and show you guys what I'm going to do. Tried to do this without cutting the sunflowers. So when you make a display like this, you always want to put the biggest rocks up highest and toward the back so that they show over everything else. I'd actually like to put the rock I'm going to bring right here, but it'll probably have to go here first. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these spacers under it. Like so. Let's say that's where the rock's going to go. That way it just gives the rock a little more height and also keeps water from sitting under it. Remember, water is our enemy. We want as much air getting in and around stuff as possible. So for now, I'm going to tuck these under here out of the way. And we're going to bring over our first rock. When you guys are up on ladders or doing anything like this, especially carrying 50-pound rocks, there is no hurry. Go slow. So this is the first one I want propped up there. And it's kind of an easy one in the sense that it has a flat bottom because I sawed the bottom off. And don't worry, I've got plenty of rocks that can take its place here. Everything else on this sculpture is from the Cache La Poudre River. So I'll find some other boulder I have from there and put it here. So I'm gonna prop this camera up right here like this and film myself climbing the ladder, and then I'll come get you again and bring you up there. It's a pretty big rock. I'm going to try this. One step at a time. Projects like these are always experimental because they've never been done before, definitely not by me, and there's really not a manual out there on how to build giant rock displays on top of stacked granite sink cutouts. So I'm going very slow using my normal method of taking a step up and moving the rock up a step up. So I'm not carrying the rock at all as I'm climbing. I keep moving it up to the next step and just having it rest on the step while I go up. But I'm quickly realizing that the ladder, number one, it's higher than it needs to be. As you can see, it goes past the shelf I'm trying to get to. And it's kind of dangerous having it on the wall anyway. And I just couldn't lift the rock since the steps were too small for the rock to really slide in and sit good on the step. So I quickly aborted this little plan here, as I will explain in a moment. Nope, there's no way. There's no way to get it up that way. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is get my shorter ladder and put the ladder here and just try to get it up onto that first level, and then I can move it from there. But my ladder here is too steep. I have one other idea. Let me try. Again, I want to share the whole process with you guys because it's good that you know the pain that goes into these things. But as excited as a guy is, you don't want to get hurt. So take your time, try different things. This time, instead of being too steep, I'm thinking the ladder is leaning a bit too much, which is dangerous because the ladder can slip out from under you. But since it's dug into the grass, I felt like it was okay, and I went ahead with that plan. So I've got the ladder down lower and at a better angle. Let's see if I could do it now. Okay, this seems good. I'm just going to go one step at a time. Set the rock on the next step. This is about a 50-pounder. It was getting difficult on those last few steps because the ladder, of course, tapers and becomes narrower as you get higher on it, and the rock was just not fitting to where I could let go of the rock and move up to the next step. And that was becoming concerning. I just gotta get right here. By this point, I was past the point of being able to return. I could not back up, and I was having a hard time figuring out how to push it that last foot or so, because the top step of the ladder was too narrow for it to sit on, so I had to go all that last push at once. Pretty scary. I was thinking that I could heft the thing up in the air and get it on top of the spacers, but there was just no way at the angle where I was standing. So that's what you see. I'm just moving the spacers around, deciding what my next move was going to be. I'm a little sorry that I did not weigh this rock before I hoisted it up there. It sure felt like more than 50 pounds. I've always just called it off the cuff a 50-pounder. But there's something about being up on a ladder, so you're trying to keep your balance, and it's a really strange shape, and all the weight's in a rock. Whereas if it were a 50-pound bag of dog food, I could easily hoist it over my shoulder, you know. Anyway, sure is a lot of fun. If you can get the rock into place and step back away from it and you're still alive and the rock hasn't fallen to the ground, everything went well. What a relief. That was scary, I must confess. You see how small it looks up there though? And that's my biggest rock. That's probably the heaviest one I have for this display. This one might be close. This one actually concerns me because if you look through this vein, it's fractured. So I might have to split that before risking taking it up the ladder. But check this out. Okay, so it's up here. And now I need to tip each end up and get the spacer underneath. I'll probably just put one spacer. It's a plenty big rock, and there's not a lot of room here on the shelf for anything that will block it. So I'll just put a few smaller rocks there, if that makes sense. And I'm trying to decide if I want the sun to shine on this. I should probably put it here because this kind of faces east, and at least it'll get the sun part of the day. So I may move it over here. I just had to get it up here for now. That was the goal for the moment. Yeah, it's a nice rock, that's for sure. Very heavy. I decided to go ahead and slide it over. This is where it just was. It was an easy slide. I just slid it straight over. Got it up with some difficulty and got the spacers under it. And now I'll just take some smaller rocks that'll sit there in a stable fashion and finish out that base. I'm gonna do all the big rocks first, I think, and then fill in around them. So there are 6 shelves like this. Yeah, 6 going around, and then another 6 down here that'll hold rocks that are slightly smaller. While I'm up here, I'll kind of show off my Oregon display. Oregon and California. I still have all that space left for rocks from there, going all the way around to the other side too, but that's kind of up high, so I'm only getting there as I need to. But this is going to be I think this is going to be a really nice display. Let's see what it looks like from the ground. Again, it's cloudy right now, so the light's not the best, but it's nice because I don't have to be all covered up for the sun. Oh yeah, look at that up there. I think that's plenty visible, and when the sun is shining on it, it'll look really good. You remember the road cut? Oh, it was one of the last road cuts we saw in the second video that had all the white granite with the muscovite mica and a tiny little bit of tourmaline. I forgot I have a big piece of that. Really big. I'm going to try to get this up there. And today, we're going to round out this video. I'm going to try to finish 4 sections up there because there are 12 shelves basically, and I can probably only get the ladder up there in a couple of places, so I'm going to do as much as I can, and then we'll end the video with me showing you what I did. So stick with me. Now the fun part begins. It'll start to look like something. I'll prop this up here and do a little time lapse for you. The sun is out, the bees are waking up. They're starting their process here around the flowers. I think I'm about done. I've gotten about as far as I can get until I move the ladder. That'll be another day or when it's cloudy again. But I do want to show you guys kind of what I did get done. I'm positioning the rocks, or trying to, in such a way that they look good from about this angle, because that's where we're seeing them from. But there's also the intention that a guy could come up here and peruse at his leisure, mostly me. Beautiful rocks. I thought I could work on these side shelves here reaching over, but I can't. I managed to get the biggest of the black tourmaline in the pink pegmatite, which we call shoral, and I got it over there, but that's about all I was able to do. I'm not even going to try to get anything over here, but I did get this little area pretty much done, and you get the idea. I still might fit a few more rocks on there, but it generally looks good. Got some of the ripples, some of the tourmaline, some of the pegmatites, and I'll try to kind of have an even mix going all the way around. The best stuff, or to me what are the most interesting, I'd like to have on these sides that are visible either from the patio there or from here on the grass. But they'll all get up there somewhere. Thanks for sticking with me the last 3 days or so. We've been working on this, not including the trips up to the canyon. It's always a process. Some of these take years to get done. Please like, share, subscribe if you have not already. And I always look forward to your comments. God bless you guys. And we'll see you on the next one.